If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.
Start your day with Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal. The Instant Oatmeal ready to help you tackle whatever your day brings. Like wrangling your toddler into their car seat. That was fun. Coaching your 6th graders soccer team. Go girls! And carrying all the groceries in one trip. Whew. Try Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal, granola, and bars. Great taste and a good source of protein. Quaker. Bring out the good.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And obviously the big story remains the weather, the snow on the East Coast, and particularly here in the New York tri-state area. How are you coping? How are you dealing with the situation? Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach me live this hour. We really want to hear from you folks. 800 new callers in particular. 800-848-9222. Well, the mayor of New York City, Mamdani, says no New York City trash pickup for days as the city pivots to snow removal. I think that's a mistake, but that's the way Mamdani's handling it. This as New York City schools will reopen tomorrow for in-person learning, according to the mayor. Schools back in person Tuesday after the first actual snow day in years, while up to 2 feet of snow in some cases that is blankets the boroughs. Mamdani stating, I do have some tough news to share. School will be in person tomorrow. You can pelt me with snowballs when you see me. He jokingly, his message to children. A powerful ceremony at the White House just a short time ago. And White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt is furious, and rightfully so. For example, CNN did not air a single second of the president's powerful Angel Family's remembrance ceremony honoring Americans brutally killed by illegal immigrants and their grieving loved ones. 800-848-9222. Seems like the snow is stopping, but this is the way it was just a few hours ago. This from WABC TV.
You know why you have to stay home? Because this was just plowed. I'm talking like minutes ago, and look at it already. We are talking, it is thick, and underneath it is wet. So when you've got this type of accumulation happening in a matter of minutes, this is why everyone's saying best to stay home. I hope that people can work remote, because if you can't, you're going to be looking at some whiteout conditions, and it is very dangerous because the wind is whipping, very low visibility, as Brittany has been saying all morning long.
And President Trump at the White House commenting, as we know, it has made lots of headlines. Mamdani hired New Yorkers, and it's not a new plan. New Yorkers that want to shovel the snow. They increased the salary to up to almost $30 an hour because of this blizzard situation. Normally it's $19 an hour, but the big controversy is that it requires 2 forms of ID. And Mamdani and socialists, they want you to be able to vote with no ID. But the president commenting on in general, that is, that the idea of hiring New Yorkers, he doesn't see anything wrong with that aspect of it, that it's not a bad idea.
It's so crazy. You know, the mayor of New York, and he's a very nice person. I met him, but his ideology is not too good. But we're having a massive snowstorm right now. And I heard that he's asked people to come out and help shovel the snow. Okay, so you get a shovel and you start shoveling, right? What the hell? You're not going to help too much, but you can help.
And I guess that's a point that all can make, that we can all pitch in a little bit. The good news, I guess, perhaps, is that the snow is soft. It's not hard, so it's not as difficult to shovel. Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222. In a moment, I'm going to John, line 1, Staten Island. But Jano Lieber, the head of the MTA, the chair, giving Mamdani praise, if you will, on the city's improvements to bus stop areas, getting rid of the snow. And you folks can tell me if indeed this is the case.
A shout out to the mayor and the sanitation team because I know they are prioritizing getting bus stops cleared, especially this time in light of some of the challenges with the last storm. So I think that's an area that the mayor, we're all learning from, and the mayor has made a special priority, and we and our customers really appreciate it.
And so Governor Hochul, who declared a state of emergency, was actually giving, as many people have been doing, giving advice on how to actually shovel.
Pro tips on shoveling from someone from Buffalo who knows. Just push it out of the way. Okay, see what I'm doing here? No strain on the back from doing that. Now when it gets a lot heavier, you're going to have to do a little bit more, but don't lift much. Just do it in smaller bits, okay? Little bits. You can do this. Don't do a big pile and fill this up because that can lead to a heart attack. You don't want that.
No, we don't, Governor. We'll get to President Trump's powerful Angel Families Remembrance ceremony at the White House in just a few minutes, honoring Americans brutally killed by illegal immigrants and their grieving loved ones. But let's start with some of your telephone calls. Line 1, John, Staten Island. John, the day of this big storm, what's on your mind?
I just disagree with Mamdani on opening up the schools to tomorrow, but here's the problem. There are poor people who live in low-income communities who rely on cafeteria food to feed their kids. There are working parents, regardless of how much income they bring in, that rely on the public school system to babysit their kids. And the DOE, they'll have a low attendance rate tomorrow because no one will be able to leave their homes to even go to school, to go to work, because everybody's snowed in. There's already downed trees in front of my home. I literally have a tree that fell on my deck this morning.
Oh, boy.
But he decides to open the schools.
Well, but John, wait, John, but let's look at it from the flip side. The city has to meet 180 days. I believe it's 180 days of curriculum of school every year. It comes down to dollars and cents. It's not the school system's problem of daycare for children. They've got a mandate that they must meet, and that's the bottom line. I'm not saying it's right, but it's business. It's dollars and cents.
Remote tomorrow to meet that requirement.
Yeah, that's a good point, John. That's a good point there. A very good point there. Thank you so much for the call. Folks, we're going to get back to your telephone calls, your live calls in just a moment. I want to switch to a White House ceremony just a short time ago for Angel Families Remembrance Ceremony. And this was the mother of Laken Riley. You may recall Laken Riley, the Georgia 19-year-old nursing student, raped in a horrific way by this animal. And her mother was at President Trump's side, as well as other families, during this ceremony.
A lot of people feel like that President Trump is maybe different than the version that I've gotten to know. And I just can't thank you enough. You have said from the beginning, literally the day after this happened, that you would not forget about Laken. You weren't president at that time, and you have not forgotten. You have fought a fight that most people would not want to have to fight. Most people wouldn't. They would just say it's just easier not to do this. And President Trump you are doing a thankless job that most people just wouldn't do. And I just can't thank you enough. There are just not enough words to say, because if you've lived the nightmare that we have lived, you understand the importance of the job that he's doing and securing our nation and fighting for our families, because this could be any family. This happened to my family. This could be any one of your families.
And indeed, it could have been any family, a daughter, a niece, a wife out there jogging, minding her business, running into this animal, this illegal that took her life and is now in jail for life. DMS just tweeted at Dominic TV. Today was chosen as the Angel Remembrance Day because it was today, 2 years ago, that Laken Riley was murdered by an illegal alien as she jogged. He was allowed into this country by Biden and not detained when arrested in New York. That's true. I forgot all about that, DMS, because of New York City sanctuary city policies. And that is true. Thank you for that. I see Debbie Lebedo. Oh, no, Debbie, it says here, Debbie, her and her husband were out shoveling. Please be careful. Although the snow was soft on top, underneath it was slushy and it kept on getting caught in the snow blower. So we did the best we could, making a path from the street to the house and clearing off the car to get out eventually. So, Debbie, please, you and your husband, be careful. At that ceremony with the mother of Laken Riley and others, very touching ceremony, President Trump made this comment.
Thank you very much. It's amazing, Allison. You have to go through this. It doesn't get that much easier, does it? Right? Even with time. It's been a while now, and it doesn't get that much easier. But I want to thank you for your incredible courage. We're all courageous in a sense. Everybody in this room is courageous. And we're willing to tell the story. And that I don't know why the news doesn't want to hear it. The Democrats don't want to hear it. The radical left, they don't want to hear it. What's not to hear? We want to stop murderers and criminals from coming into our country. I watched the mayor of Minneapolis. I watched these people saying, we want to protect murderers. I don't get it. It's something sick. They're sick. Can't have a country like that. So we appreciate the bravery of everybody in this room, actually.
And again, it was a very touching ceremony. Back to your telephone calls. Line 1, Eduardo, Tampa, Florida. What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, good afternoon. I know you guys are dealing with that storm over there. Hopefully, all the best of luck with it. But I wanted to bring up, another important story: the violence in Mexico, and people are trapped in their hotels, and they got to wait till things settle down. And I definitely support, because President Trump was talking about. Obviously, there was a murder. Well, there was a drug lord that was killed over there from the Jalisco gang over there. And I totally support limited military intervention by us. We'll see if that's how that goes, and obviously the Congress is going to have some input on that. But I totally support that, some kind of limited military engagement with the cartels.
Well, something, Eduardo, has to give, because the violence that's occurring as we speak is completely out of control. I've got to take a break, and so I'm going to try and double back to this issue. We're going to take a break, but something has to give, to Eduardo's point, the violence that's occurring in Mexico after a drug lord was killed in an operation. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best our nation has to offer, especially when it comes to health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families' health. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care. Rural Americans deserve access to the best our nation has to offer, especially when it comes to health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families' health. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So you talk about a mess, right? You folks know, you listen to the program. My daughter lives in Rhode Island. You have 35,000 people without power right now in the state of Rhode Island. Then you couple that with the fact that they have a travel ban. You can't be on the roads. You can't do anything. So you have 35,000 people that are stuck in their homes in Rhode Island, and they probably can't dig their car out anyway. But if they could, they can't get on the roads to even go get a hotel room because the police will issue you a ticket, a travel ban that's in place until tomorrow morning in Rhode Island. Back to the phones we go. Marco, line 4, New Jersey. Marco, what's on your mind?
Yeah, Mr. Dominic, so I just can't understand. This guy would say he doesn't understand why people defend illegal immigrants because they're
wait. You said this guy. Who's this guy?
Trump. He just said that. I heard him. I heard you play it. But he's protected child pedophiles. How do you go on?
How is he protected child pedophiles? What are you talking about?
Wait, didn't he say we can't release the names of those people because we will hurt their reputation? Did he say that? He
has said release all the information. Marco, do you get your rocks off trying to find things to complain about Trump?
Come on, man. You gonna really buy that?
Dominic is done with you.
To Gracie, Rockland County, New York. Gracie, what's on your mind?
Wait, first, Marco, where do you get your news? From MSNBC and CNN?
Probably.
If you listen to other people, you get the whole story. But unfortunately, the Republicans have to do a better job, and that's not why I called, promoting themselves, or else we are going to lose. The reason I called was, I know you said new callers, but I had to call. When I taught, not that I taught that much, but my husband taught 33 years, so he knows what's going on. It was always They worked always more than 100 days. What, they lost days now? They don't know how to count now? It's up to the wire that they have to make the 180 days. I remember 184, 185 days we worked. They invented new holidays, and we haven't had snow. So how are they chopping away at the days? That's my opinion of what's going on. You know, everything is full of everything. Everybody talks, and I think they're all a bunch of liars.
Hey, Gracie, let me put this to you. I'm interested in your take. So, in fairness, Mamdani didn't create this, okay? Hiring of New Yorkers to help with the snow, and Lord knows we needed the help, right? But the irony in it is that you need two forms of ID, but yet, for folks like Mamdani and Democrats, they don't want any ID to vote. So you need ID to get paid by the city of New York, but they don't want ID for you to vote. Your take on that quickly, Gracie.
My take on that is that they're a bunch of hypocrites, and they think that people are so stupid, which unfortunately they are. They don't see the ridiculousness of that.
Absolutely, Gracie. Thank you for the great call. Folks, the snow is everywhere. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The East Coast hit hard with the weather, and the socialist mayor of New York City, you know, the 34-year-old with no executive experience, Mamdani, he says no trash pickup for days as the city pivots to snow removal. Now, some of you have said to me, but why do you play Cuomo sound bites in your show? Andrew Cuomo, he's the devil, he's the devil. Why do you play his sound bites? Because the man brings experience to the job, and he made exactly this point before Mamdani made his. Cuomo did this for the entire state for 12 years. And Cuomo making the point that you have to have these independent companies come in, because if sanitation's focusing on, their job is to focus on the garbage for the most part, but then you gotta have somebody focus on the snow. Or if you have sanitation focus on the snow, then you're leaving the garbage unpicked up, right? Not picked up. And it makes me wonder, are the rats in heaven? Are they gonna be super rats now? One thing Eric Adams was right about when he talks about rats, how big they are, right? He didn't do a great job fighting them, but he was right about his assessment. And, you know, I wonder, do the rats stay under in weather like this, or because they're super rats in New York City, they come out no matter what? Who knows? Inquiring minds want to know. Back to your live telephone calls. Richard, line 4 in Florida. Richard, what's on your mind on this snowy day?
Yeah. Dominic, as a former sanitation worker for New York City, I'm retired. Okay. Been retired now 6 years.
Wow.
Let me give you a little bit of the protocol when it comes to the garbage collection. Okay.
Great.
We have a system, and this goes back to last 20 mayors. It's a system we have to follow. We have to clear out the streets, hospitals, fire departments, schools area, secondary street, tertiary street. Unfortunately, those side streets that you see, like, why haven't the plow gotten there through? They're only allowed during a storm to go probably one time. Those streets are those side streets. The main avenue, they have to be focused. They have to be cleaned up good. Do you understand that part of it?
Yes, you're saying that the areas where there are hospitals and essential buildings, that has to be the priority. Everything else is secondary.
Regarding the garbage, what they don't do, I don't notice, they should be educating the people a little bit regarding the recycling part of it. Let's start with the recycling part of it. If your recycling day is tomorrow and you know there's a blizzard, do not put out your recycling until you recycling has started. It's starting to be picked up, and you have to wait until your recycling day is coming up soon. Because everything is a schedule. You understand? Tomorrow is your day. Next week is your next block, and so on and so on. So what I've noticed, everybody put everything out in one shot. They're supposed to leave the recycling on the side for now, not put it out. Regarding the garbage until they feel enough that the snow piles on the curb is low enough for the garbage to be picked up, and there's enough manpower to do it. That's when they will start. That's
okay,
usually
Richard, so what's the problem? Why before we got hit again today and last night? Why was there still snow on the streets of New York City?
Now, you talk about the curb or on the main avenues?
Everything. There was just snow everywhere.
It's like it's a process that comes from the top. Remember, it comes from the chief, from the commissioner.
Exactly what I thought.
To the 5-star chief, to the 4-star chief, to the 3rd-star chief, to the super, to the foreman. That's the commander. That's the way the command goes. The super might have an idea, but no, you have to wait until your chief approves it. The chief has to send it to the commissioner. The commissioner has to send it to the mayor. The mayor has to approve it. Then works backwards. That's what's causing the problem.
Okay, so wait, Richard. So what happens? Okay, the dot. What happens when you have a mayor that's 34 years old with no executive experience?
You could run. Let's say you were the mayor right now. The system the department has, I'm talking about sanitation, that's a book that follows from day one. It doesn't, it's not a new invention. It's a book. You open it up. There's Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. Okay? Plan C was activated because anything over a foot of snow, 8 inches of snow, Plan C, that means everything gets plowed. And anything that can move gets plowed and chained. Manpower, vacation get canceled if they want to work it, but they can't force you to work it. You understand what I'm saying?
I do, but Richard, before I move on to the next call, explain this part to me, right? You mentioned if I'm in government, right? So it's real simple. If you're the mayor, you pick up the phone and you tell your acting sanitation commissioner, listen, prior mayors have almost lost their jobs over handling snow in New York City. If I'm embarrassed by this storm, you're out of a job. What's so hard about that?
Okay, I understand. And now going back to the hiring of the shovelers.
Right.
You remember, it used to be wet workers. If you're on food stamps, you have to go. It's now you got an option. You get cash, you're going to work for that cash. That's the problem they're having now. They canceled that system, that program. See, now they want to pay $30. Now they want to pay $30 when the people at the time was wet worker, sanitation supervisor, pick up the wet workers in the van, drop them off, and we usually pick them up where they live at, the location. Like a group lives in that same location, that's the location you're going to be working in. And it wasn't no problem. Everything was getting clean. Library was getting clean. Corner caps was getting clean. Now it's, they're trying to hire people. Back there was that you have to show up to your nearest garage. You used to get a notice, show up if you want to keep collecting your cash, but it's a city emergency. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't even hear that word wet no more.
You don't. And hey, Richard, thank you for the wonderful call. And to his point, and this goes back to Giuliani. Giuliani said, no more of that free welfare. We're going to change the name of welfare centers to work centers. No more free food stamps. None of that stuff. You want Medicaid? You're going to work for it. X amount of hours, even if you're a college student. And then he faced some criticism over that about the college students. And they said as long as you're in school, then you don't have to do the WEP. But yeah, Richard's correct. I forgot all about the WEP workers. You don't have to work for anything anymore. Free. The Democrat way of life. Here, you want food stamps. Here's food stamps. You want a welfare check. Here's a welfare check. You want to have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids. Here's more money to cover 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids. And it just goes on and on and on. And Richard, thank you for that. He's so correct. That is the WEP workers. You know what basically happened to them? Now they increasing the pay, and you got to have the 2 forms of ID. To shovel the snow. And of course, I'd like to see how that works because, somebody's on the payroll and they're at their girlfriend's house being paid to shovel snow. and they're having a hot toddy or a hot chocolate. You know how it goes, folks. Teresa in Brooklyn, line 5. What's on your mind, Teresa?
Hi, Dominic. Hope you're doing well. I got a question to ask you. We've been looking at this Mr. Mandami do his little speech, but he never addressed he's a city, but he never addressed the federal part of it. What about the mail people? The mail is important. Are these people going to deliver tomorrow?
Right, but he has no say over that, Teresa. He has no say at all.
But
that's the federal government.
Who would know that? Who would know?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, I'm sure you can contact the Postal Service. You know, I blame Mamdani for a lot of things, but you can't blame him for the Postal Service. He has no control over that whatsoever. That's federal. Like, for example, one of the things I blame him for, and I'm just going to call a spade. I don't understand why, in the process of clearing up snow, we have to see him and other Muslims praying, and they make a video of this and put it out. I don't understand. What's the point behind that? I don't understand how. Let's say they were another religion. How is that going to help us clear up the problem? So, Teresa, I strongly recommend, and good luck with this, because you may be on the phone for a while, or look online. Maybe you can find out an answer much faster if you look online to see about the Postal Service. But again, I will repeat, I blame Mamdani for a lot of things, but you cannot blame him for the Postal Service. He has no control over that. Let's go to Chris in the Catskills. Chris, line 1. What's on your mind, Chris?
Good afternoon, Dominic. I just saw Mamdani on MS Now with Katie Torr about 25 minutes, half hour ago. He comes on, beaming smile ear to ear. He's got a little scruff going on where he hasn't shaven. She started off very friendly to him, but to Katie Torr's credit, she, in her own way, she asked him some legitimate questions.
Okay, so this all means what, Chris?
Just relaying it, you're talking to him. She asked him, when I come out of the studio, is there going to be snow up to my shoulder and head, or is public transportation going to still be operating? And she asked him, is it going to be different this time around with this snowstorm where we had 19 people who are homeless that died in the cold weather? Is that going to happen this time around with this storm, is basically what she asked him.
Right, and every time he faces these questions, he just punts, passes, misdirects. Thank you for the call, Chris. And doesn't really answer the question. He smiles a lot, but I still don't understand why we need to see a video on social media of him praying with other Muslims when, Mr. Mayor, these were, I believe, they were sanitation officials. You're to clean up the snow. That's your religion is on you. And good luck with that. That's wonderful. But why do we need to see that? Why? I don't understand why. Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222. Let's go to Sandra, line 3, New Jersey. Sandra, what's on your mind?
Well, Dominic, I'm longing to go out in the snow and shovel some of it. How do you like that? Here I am in a building. Okay, I don't have to do any of this because they take care of it, but there's a downside to it. I love the 4 seasons, and this is one of the seasons I love. And part of it is experiencing the snow, shoveling the snow, putting your hat on, your coat, your gloves, and breathing in the beautiful fresh air. I feel sad. I asked one friend if she wanted to go for a walk. She says to me, "Are you nuts?" Now, I have another friend in the city. She's going into Central Park. That's the type of friend I want to have, that I can't go to the city because there's no way I can get there. Then I have another friend. Okay, I feel sad. She lives in Ridgewood. She told me her 3 cars are blocked, and the truck towing, they put all the snow against her house, so she can't even get her cars out. So I know all the sides, but I'm trying to say, Dominic, I feel a little sad that I'm not involved at all in this. I mean, I am.
Okay, so wait, Sandra. Did I hear you correctly? You said you want to go shovel? Is that what you said?
Yeah. If someone asks me to help them, I take an oath to God. I would try my best to do whatever I could. I put my hat on, my coat, my gloves, my boots. I get out there, camaraderie, we talk, we shovel snow, a little exercise. Yeah, I would love to do that. I'm telling you the truth. I'm sad. I am. Mm-hmm.
So you want to do that. That's interesting. That's, I know you have a great heart, Sandra. That's interesting because, around my neck of the woods, I'm still convinced, right? At my house, I'm convinced, Sandra, that, cause I have a lot of ties. I have a lot of, gloves, lots of, coats, whatever. But whenever I need these darn gloves, I can never find them. And so then I have to go, no joke, right? Because I had to get out there today. And I felt like Superman today because the snow is soft, right? And I know my neighbors are like, they're like, ugh, because I've only done one side of the driveway enough to get the cars in. And it's like an art. It's an art to the madness. I'm going to park the cars exactly where the snow would go. So I just work around the cars and then clear out the area where they push the snow into the driveway, and then I'm good. And so I'm walking out there again today with socks on. I got a hat and a hoodie. I hate hoodies, but I got a hat and a hoodie, and I absolutely hate it, even though the snow is soft. And you're saying you want to do this.
A little bit. I'm not saying a lot, but I would like to be involved.
Oh boy. Well, you could do enough for me and you. Sandra, thank you for the great call. Sandra wants to shovel. Wow. Time for a break. We're coming right back.
Hey, Fidelity. What's it cost to invest with the Fidelity app?
Start with as little as $1 with no account fees or trade commissions on U.S. stocks and ETFs.
That's music to my ears.
I can only talk.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Zero account fees apply to retail brokerage accounts only. Sell order assessment fee not included. A limited number of ETFs are subject to a transaction-based service fee of $100. See full list at fidelity.com/commissions. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day belong to Debbie Lebedo, Staten Island. I love what Debbie just said in reference to Sandra's call just a minute ago. Debbie says, Sandra, go help in New York City. Make sure you have ID, doll. $30 an hour. So, I would like to one day follow someone that does that. Do they have the sanitation vehicles nearby where every 30 minutes you can get warm inside a vehicle? How long are you forced to be outside? Is it an 8-hour day? How does it work? When do you get your money? Does it take a month later? How does this all work? When you step up to help fellow man and earn some money at the same time. Let's go to line 1, Max in Manhattan. Max, what's on your mind?
Dominic, thank you for taking my call. The statement that you made concerning a Muslim prayer in the street, I agree with you. There is a place that it's worse than what we have here, and it's called Epic City, and it's in Plano, Texas. And non-Muslims are not allowed to enter into the city. This is the United States I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Max, because I don't know anything about it, but that's accurate?
Yes, Plano, Texas. It's called Epic City.
Wow. Well, I have to look into that. Thank you very much. Let's go to Greg, Orange County, line 3. Greg, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, how you doing, man? We grew up in the same neighborhood in the Bronx, like off Fordham Road, that kind of thing. Anyway,
you're correct.
Did I hear you? Yes, yeah. We were on the other side, down by DeVoe Park. Big Irish family, the whole thing. Anyway, I'll make it quick. My point is, did I just hear you say you put socks on your hands today?
Absolutely, because I think as a bad joke, they hide my gloves around the house. And when I set aside 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes to get something done, I have to get it done because it's on to the next thing. So if I can't find the gloves, my son had his gloves. I put on some socks, and Liz in Florida taught me a great idea. She said, put them in the dryer, which works. It makes it nice and warm. I sure did, Greg. You heard me correctly.
There you go. Hey, we did that. If I already said it, we did that constantly because, like I said, there's 10 kids in the family. My parents off the boat, Irish, and we use socks. And ironically, it's funny you said that because today I couldn't find my gloves, so guess what I did? I put socks on my hands.
Look at that. Hey, but you know what, Greg? I don't know about you, but I felt like Superman because the snow is, it's like, it's not hard, so you can actually snow it. And I was like, 1, 2, 3, throwing it over my head. And I'm like, and at the same time, I'm like, don't overwork yourself. You don't want to grab your chest. But we got a lot of work done. Greg, thank you for the great call. Let's go to David in Yonkers, line 5. David, what's on your mind?
Oh, my gosh. Thank you for taking my call. You hear me okay?
Loud and clear. Go ahead, please.
All right, perfect. I love Sandra, and I had a great time today helping shovel several of my neighbors out and push some cars that got stuck. So keep up the good work, Dominic, and I absolutely adore you. You're amazing.
David, the feeling's mutual. But so you actually helped some neighbors push their cars that got stuck?
Oh, no, the neighbors weren't stuck. I helped them shovel out their driveways and their stairs, their sidewalks and all that. No, it was random people that just, they don't plow our roads,
So you did what you had to do.
2 footers.
You did what you had to do. Well, bravo to you, David. I need neighbors like you, man. Thank you, David, for doing what you did for your fellow man. Judith in Brooklyn, line 2. Judith, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. I text my friend today. I said, listen, do you want to come out and do a snowman? I want you to know, as a grandma, I remember I was babysitting my son-in-law. My daughter went to vacation, so I was babysitting the grandchildren. It was a few years back. And it was snowing, and there was no more snow, piles of snow, whatever. And I said, okay, kids, we're going out. We're doing a snowman. And the whole block was inside, and they were all, chattering. What's she doing? What's she doing? Like, they never saw a person do a snowman, you know?
Hey, Judith, we have to continue this another time because I'm out of time. But did the snowman, did it actually materialize?
It sure did. It sure
Wow. Well, we will continue this story. I want to hear about Judith's snowman. Folks, help America to never forget. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact by donating your car or land. Go to T2T.org. I'm going to go do some shoveling, and I will be back live at midnight.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.